Happy Saturday. We hope everyone is outside today. We were talking earlier about how we just get so much energy from being outside, and a lot of the time things that we do in the studio are fueled by that, either through workouts or just gardening and nature. So we just wanted to talk about that. I feel like that's a part of the creative process that not a lot of people discuss. It's all about studio time and painting techniques, which are all very important, but equally for me, I've realized over the past years how important those other parts of life are with your creative practice. So Adriana, you've been gardening a lot this week, right?
Yes, the weather has been absolutely gorgeous. I've been solid or sharing in stories, usually in the mornings, something in the garden that just stops me in my tracks, that has somehow survived my care. So it's a double celebration. But yeah, gardening, kayaking was one of my best friends the other day. Not that long, scuba diving, just all kinds of different physical activities that just kind of keep, I guess you could say, like healthy body, healthy mind, and thus a healthier creative practice, if you will.
Oh, for sure. I definitely find that too. I mean, I've been an athlete my whole life, which I feel like is kind of part of my creative identity, especially now that like the world is slowly opening up. I used to do social sports all the time, so the fact that those are coming back now is amazing. It's just like given me such a new life. So I'm normally in like a volleyball league. I used to be in a basketball league. I don't know when that's going to start. But really having those nights of just purely losing track of time in the sunshine, in the sand, moving your body, because that type of like physical endurance, I feel is like what really fuels those late nights in the studio for me. And that's a question I feel like I get a lot of the time, which is like, I don't understand how you do like your day job and make artwork and socialize and work out. And honestly, like working out for me, like I don't understand how people necessarily don't do that or like don't fuel that side of their body and mind, because that's what helps you in all those other areas, which it's sometimes it can feel like just adding one more thing to your plate, but once you do it you just like feel calmer, like you were saying in the garden, you just like feel grounded, you feel more
Yeah,
connected with your body.
yeah, it's kind of strange in a way because you would think, wait, if I'm doing something physical, right, and I'm adding this to the plate, it's definitely not, I'm going to be more tired. No, you'd be surprised. Like if you start the morning, like I used to do yoga and martial arts. Well, I need to get back into yoga. But anyways, like if you do some of these things in the morning, for example, it's almost like you get this boost of energy in your body and you get, basically get the circulation going. It can just be a walk, people. Like we're not saying go to the gym 8 hours, right? But like even if it's a walk in the morning, any kind of physical movement, it's almost like it gets your and no doctor, so I don't know, but almost like it gets your circulation going and it gets you all pumped up. And yeah, you may be a little bit tired, but as you work that resistance, over time, then you find out you have more stamina and you can keep going. And then now the thought of spending, 8 hours, standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down, like walking around the studio painting, it's not that big of a deal if you've already had some level of exercise. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. And I think it is building that like base level of stamina, like you were saying. But then also the idea of, which I think is very similar to the creative practice, the idea of like by adding one more thing to your to-do list, we all think that that's going to be draining because we're like, we're so overwhelmed. I don't have time to do one more thing. Both know like when you're in the flow of a creative practice or in a painting, yes, that might have been a thing you added to your to-do list, but it's so life-giving and you feel so relaxed and like it's so much more beneficial and not draining of your energy, you know? And I kind of feel the same way with movement too. Like that is what energizes the rest of your day. You get more focus and you have more clarity. And even the idea of like getting off of your screen, in terms of I have the most ideas if I'm like out on a hike or going for a nice jog. I always keep like a notebook with me, or like if I'm in the gym, because I'm like, oh, I had this idea. Okay, I had this idea. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I need to get in the studio because that creative block that I was in is completely gone. And sometimes I'm like, as people see on my stories, I'm like, screw it, I'm not showering. I need to go to the studio right now. So if you're on my Instagram stories at all, you've definitely probably seen me like post workout or post volleyball, just like this is part of the creative process and honestly like a super important part.
And for the record, when you say you're coming to the studio without showering, these are not on public open days, people.
Oh no.
She does shower before she sees other humans.
Very good. I have 24-hour access to the studios that so for open hours, I make sure I shower after my workout, somewhat
Clean artist in the studio space. Clean artist.
will be covered in working, but that comes with the job. So
We may have paint in our hair, however, but we shower.
which speaking of, we should probably get going. We have open hours today, which I am super excited about to meet new people. But hopefully for anyone watching this, you are able to get outside this weekend, get moving a little bit, and just kind of recognize what your body is telling you and what your mind does and how your thoughts become more
And
clarifying.
if you're indoors, because I know for some folks they still are not able to move out, depending where you are when you're watching this or what your situation is, you can still move indoors. You know, internet, YouTube, bunch of free videos on movement. Even if you're confined to a chair, I mean, there's a lot of different movements you can do. But yeah, getting the blood flowing, it's almost like a way to also help get the creative juices flowing. So
Right. Just go
that's our big takeaway.
like your posture, arm stretches, neck stretches. If you're like working from your desk, if you're still working from home, then like there's so many things. Like a simple YouTube search of a 10-minute office stretch workout.
Can make a huge difference.
Awesome. Well, we hope you have a wonderful weekend, guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.